No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Welcome to this Blue Christmas Advent service. We are glad you are with us today. If you would like to follow along with the service, you can get a copy of the bulletin, which can be reached through our website, hampsteaducc.org. You'll see the Blue Christmas service listed, and it'll say to see the worship bulletin, click here. Alternately, you can go on the left-hand column to the media tab, click on there, and go to worship bulletins. If you can't access a worship bulletin and follow along here, that's no worry. It's a quiet contemplative service. And we hope that wherever you are on your journey, this is a time of reflection, of remembrance, and ultimately of hope. Also, before we begin, if you have a candle readily accessible, please grab it. Towards the end of the service, we'll have a few moments of quiet where you'll be invited to light a candle. And we begin our service with our call to worship. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by God, and without God nothing came to be. What came to be through God was life, and this life was the light of the world. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it.
Our first reading is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather the stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. would you respond in the reading of Psalm 22? My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me, so far from the words of my groaning?
O my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest.
In you our ancestors trusted. They trusted and you delivered them. It was you
who brought me from the womb, you who kept me safe on my mother's breast. Since my mother bore me, you have been my God.
Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help.
God does not despise the affliction of the afflicted. God does not hide from me. When I cry to God, God hears me. Thanks be to God. We light this first candle to remember those whom we have loved and lost. We pause to remember clearly their faces, their voices, their bodies. We embrace and give thanks for the memories that bind them to us in this season of expectation, when all creation waits for the light. We remember. We light the second candle to remember the pain of loss of relationships, loss of trust, loss of jobs, loss of health, loss of faith, the loss of joy. We especially remember all the losses we have faced in this pandemic year. The loss of gatherings and celebrations. The loss of traveling and being with loved ones and those who are vulnerable, sick, or dying. The loss of whatever we were accustomed to. We acknowledge and embrace the pain of the past and present, O God, and we offer it to you, asking that you will place the gift of peace, shalom, into our wounded hearts and open hands. We remember. We light this third candle to remember ourselves this Christmas time. We pause and remember the past weeks, months, and for some of us, years that have been heavy with our burdens. We accept and lay them before you, God, the sharpness of memory, the sadness and grief, the hurt and fear, the anger and pain. We accept and lay before you the ways we feel we have fallen short, and the times we have spent blaming ourselves and you for all that we have suffered. We accept and lay before you the time we have walked alone in darkness and in knowledge of our own mortality.
We remember.
We light this fourth candle to remember faith, the gift of light and hope that God offers to us in the story of Christmas. A story which also began in abandonment, insecurity, and humility in a poor stable. We remember that the loving God who came to share this life with us promises us comfort and peace.
We remember the one who shares our burdens, who shows us the way to the light, and who journeys with us into all our tomorrows.
If you have a candle nearby, take a moment to light it now. We will spend a few minutes in reflection, in prayer. You are invited to look at your candle or these candles here and to remember.
A story tells of how in a little hill town, a homeless couple with tax problems took shelter in a stable among the animals and gave birth to a light that would change the world. Let us join together in prayer.
Gentle God of love,
help us to reach out together for the light of faith, for renewal and recovery and a new day coming. Grant that hope may come to rest in our hearts, and let it go forth with us into the darkness, this night and in the nights to come, until we see the dawn. Amen.
And we will sing together one verse of Silent Night. May we be gentle with ourselves, remembering that we are created in the image of God. May we go into the world with honesty and thanksgiving, embracing tears, laughter, and all that is good. May the protection of God comfort us. May the courage of Jesus sustain us, and may the tenderness of the Spirit embrace us on this night and forevermore. Amen.